Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. Several lawyers have lined up to support the Freedom of Information Act request by the former Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, to the Independent National Electoral Commission to make available to him in public interest the accreditation data generated by the bimodal voter accreditation system machine, that's BVAS machine, used during the off-season governorship elections in Imo, Benue, Bayelsa, and Kogi states on Saturday, November 11, 2023. This was disclosed by the Special Assistant Media to Chief Osita Chidoka in a press release which the Special Assistant issued on behalf of Chidoka, disclosing that INEC has acknowledged the Freedom of Information Act request for the BVAS accreditation data generated during the Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi governorship elections on Saturday. Now, recall, if you are following events in the media, you will recall that the former Minister of Aviation, Osita Chidoka, had recently revealed that he had formally requested for the BVAS accreditation data from INEC. And he said he made the request in public interest because of the allegations and counter-allegations about the bypass of the BVAS, the inflation of accredited voters, and all the rest. In a post on his verified X account, Chidoka had begun his disclosure with a quote from Eric Liu, where Chidoka stated that to be optimistic is to assume things will work out. To be hopeful is to realize things can work out if you work at them. Hope requires responsibility and agency. Optimism relieves us of both. In rooting for your sports team, choose optimism. In rooting for democracy, choose hope, says Eric Liu. Going further in that his public statement using his Twitter, his X handle, he said, "I have chosen hope over cynicism. I have chosen to act." He said that he has chosen to act than to despair. "I have decided to place the future of our country as a democratic, diverse, and rule-governed society over and above personal gain, partisanship, or any of the categories that divide our shared humanity. I am hopeful because I will work for it. The elections in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states are the first fruits of the decision of our judiciary to reverse the gains of our electoral journey since 2015. He went on to say that I'm not rooting for any candidate. I'm interested in the sanctity of the process. To this end, pursuant to Freedom of Information Act 2011, I have made a formal Freedom of Information request to the Independent National Electoral Commission, Nigeria, to provide data to ensure that the gains and the investment in technology are not reversed." Going further, he said in the formal request that he made to the INEC chairman, he said that I am writing to submit a request form under the Freedom of Information Act 2011 concerning the recently concluded elections. Specifically, I request the accreditation data generated by the bimodal voter accreditation system machine used during the elections in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi State. The requested data should include detailed accreditation figures for all polling units, as well as aggregated totals for each ward, local government area, and the respective state as a whole. The importance of this data cannot be overstated, as it is essential for ensuring the transparency and integrity of the electoral process. It will serve as a vital tool for analysis and public discourse, contributing to the democratic processes within the country. Per Section 2.3 of the Freedom of Information Act 2011, which stipulates the right to request and obtain records and documents pertaining to administrative or operational activities within public institutions. I believe this request is well within the legal bounds. In line with Section 4 of the Freedom of Information Act, I would appreciate if this information could be made available within 3 days within 3 days of receiving this request. This will allow adequate time for a course to the 7-day period of administrative review as prescribed by Section 65(1) of the Electoral Act 2022. Should it be necessary, please note that the public interest served by the release of this data outweighs any need for confidentiality. As citizens, we rely on the Commission's commitment to transparency and accountability as enshrined in the electoral law and democratic principles. Should there be any fee for the processing of this information, kindly inform me in advance. I am committed to paying all reasonable costs associated with this request. Now, this is the formal request that Osita Chidoka made so that the Freedom of Information Act could be applied for him to get the accreditation, voter accreditation that was recorded by BVAS in the election in the 3 states. And we know from information that we are getting or we have seen that the election, especially in Imo State and Kogi State, were alleged to have been massively rigged. The BVAS bypassed and figures inflated. This was according to data that are coming out from Imo State and Kogi State, in particular, these 2 states, that there was massive rigging and that the result that was declared, when you put it side by side with the number of real accreditation that took place, that they were overinflated, overvoting took place in these 2 states. And if you have been following the event since after the election, you have seen many of the actors complaining about how the results were inflated, how the number of people that came out to vote was inflated because in general there was a low voter turnout. But the record that INEC used in announcing results in Imo showed that where there was no voting, results came out. Even in Kogi State, places where they admitted that election did not take place and even proposed that election would take place on the 18th, strangely, results emanated from all those places, and they use it in declaring the APC governorship candidate as the winner of the election. So, and Chidoka himself is in this request that he had made, he said that he is doing it in public interest. Because I know that some people ask, what is his business? He didn't contest for the election. But under the Freedom of Information Act, every Nigerian has a right to make such a request from any government institution. And he has formally applied, and INEC has also acknowledged the receipt of his request. The next thing is whether INEC will comply and supply the information as at when required. Osita Chidoka is saying that they should make it available to him at least 3 days after they receive the request. Are they going to be able to do it? This INEC. If they are not able to do it, according to Chidoka himself, several lawyers have lined up to provide pro bono service to ensure that INEC is compelled to make available the accreditation data that was generated by BVAS during the election. Because it is very key to be able to understand how somebody like Hope Uzodinma was able to win 27 local government, all the 27 local government areas in Imo State, all voted for Hope Uzodinma of the APC, despite apparent indication that the Labour Party candidate was the person that was winning in most of the local governments. But the result that was announced by INEC showed that APC won in all the local governments. So this request, if Chidoka gets it, the people of Imo State should be able to pay attention to it, to find out how APC was able to generate such a fantastic turnout of voters that voted for it, even in several local government areas that are insecure as a result of the crisis in the state, some of them generated by non-state actors like allegedly by IPOP and all the rest of them. Some of those local governments that are literally no-go areas, yet they were able to generate fantastic voter turnouts, all in favor of Uzodinma of the APC. Similar thing also happened in Kogi State, where the zone that had majority of registered voters strangely produced very low voter turnout, whereas the areas of strength of the governor and all the rest had fantastic turnout that scientifically is difficult to comprehend. But that was what happened. So it will be interesting to see the real figures of what the BVAS generated. And if the BVAS could not be able to provide the data they use in announcing all these results, it means that they bypassed the BVAS and generated data with which they claimed the APC won Kogi State and Imo State. So it's really an interesting thing that Chidoka had embarked on, And Nigerians need to encourage this, because actually Nigerians have given up hope on democracy. The actions of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the actions of the security officials in the off-season election in the 3 states totally discourage most Nigerians about the future of our democracy. But like Chidoka said in his disclosure about this request that he had made, he said that we cannot give up hope on Nigeria. We cannot give up hope on democracy. That we have to keep working on it. And he has chosen the path of civility by making a formal FOI request to the Independent National Electoral Commission to give the data that was generated by BVAS in the 3 states. And it's also interesting that since he made that request and made it public, several lawyers have indicated interest to compel INEC. Should INEC prevaricate in supplying this data, they will have to compel him legally, compel them, taking them to court, so that they provide this information, which is vital in getting accurate data on what happened in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states on Saturday, November 11, 2023. The elections have come and gone, but the issues that it generated has continued to reverberate across the country. And there is a need to find out how Uzodinma won that election in Imo State and how Ododo was able to win in Kogi State against all odds. Because to be frank, exit polls before the election indicated that Ajaka of the SDP will take Kogi State, and Atan of Labour Party will take Imo State. And from all indication, it would have gone that way, but for alleged manipulations. So that's why it is important in the interest of our democracy for INEC to heed to the FOI request by Osita Chidoka. It will help to give confidence to Nigerians that they can be able to find out the truth. Because finding out the truth will give confidence to the electorate that no matter how the politicians manipulate election, at least at the end of the day, you can be able to request for the processes that led to their so-called victory. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.